And I looked around my room and I was like, I don't have anything. Like, I don't even own that bed. They don't watch Rivercity. No. I can tell you right now, this is not my demographic. My demographic is middle-aged women.
I don't know if I had too much water in my feet or whatever it was, or if I was sweating or whatever it was.
I'm bloating.
But I'm bloating in my feet.
Kapow, Theatre Scotland. Because it all needs to be some sort of like crazy name.
Yeah, buzzword. What's the buzzword?
Oh, hello, friends, and welcome to the Sad Girls Club podcast. Woo! Yeah. Well done. On cue. A real actor. Have you been chucked? Patriarchy getting you down, cry behind your pal Amy's garage and ruin the New Year's party again. Well, you're in perfect company. Welcome to the Sad Girls Club podcast, where you are allowed to be sad about the big things and the small things. So we'll just kick it off. Woo. Today I'm joined by Emma McDougall. Hi. I am Hannah Elizabeth Morton, and we are joined by
Darren Brownlie.
Yay!
Woo. I always hate saying my second name.
It's weird, isn't it?
I just always feel like you're getting into trouble.
You're going to get into trouble.
Remember,
for
like
saying
teachers in primary school would be like that to you. What's your
Darren
name? And you'd be like that. Darren what? Darren Brownlie.
I'm really sorry.
I'm really sorry. I exist.
No, of course, a real title is Darren Brownlie, star of Rivercity.
Oh, well, yes, of
star of the Glasgow Kings Panto.
Well,
yes. One of three.
Yeah, nearly.
You're there.
Oh, I would say you're there.
Oh, thank
you're there.
Thank you.
Oh,
You're
you got in and
on the
you
posters.
made a splash.
I know.
I loved it. I love it.
Thank you.
You're back this year?
I am back this year, yeah. I'm playing Tink.
I love that. As in Tinkerbell?
As in Tinkerbell,
Yes.
but we're taking the bell away and it's just pink. Pink! Pink!
It's
I will also
No,
be
wait.
doing loads of aerial work on the ceiling.
Get done. Get done.
No, okay, what are you doing up there? No, Tink. That's it, just Tink.
Oh, lovely.
No.
I love how, so like we had Kieran on last week.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm finally cashing in my Nepo Baby card to get people on.
Yeah.
Because it was only a couple of podcasts ago that I realised we hadn't mentioned it, or
Yeah.
like we had in passing.
Yeah.
And it was
Just kept talking about your mum as if everyone knew who your
just
mum
an
was.
ether of this woman, like. But that was it. So Amy Clark, who's in the show and the podcast with us, she works at the Kings.
Right.
So she was talking about, like, she was like, oh, I had a bar shift and it was mental. And I was like, oh, what show was on? She went, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. And I went, shut up. And then I was like, this makes no sense, like, for people listening. So I was like, oh, fuck, I should probably
It is time.
mention her.
Yes, that's my mom.
And then
Since then, you've just been.
and now I'm just like, fucking get them.
You're
in.
like fully
get
engrossed in
my
Nepo
mum's
Baby.
pals in.
Who
It's
do you
fine.
know?
I know.
To be fair, like, and I'm going to give you your due.
Yes.
You're not against nepotism, but you are very much like, no, I'm going to try my best. And
I've been trying my best.
I'm
for a
trying
long
my
time.
best. I'm not cashing in the card.
No.
I will work hard for the money.
She works hard for the money. She works hard
Beautiful
for no
harmonising
money.
there. That's what I've got down on the show. Also, this is the second week we don't have Amy, we don't have Hannah because they're busy gals.
There's another Hannah as well.
So we've
Right.
just started
Yeah, you're
replacing them.
I know.
With, it takes two women to do one man's job.
well, yes, I'll second that, definitely.
what was it Kieran kept saying? His disclaimer?
Oh, he was like,
Minefield.
legal minefield.
Legal minefield.
Oh,
Anytime we said anything that we were like, oh, maybe can we say that? He was like, it's a legal minefield. So we're just going to cut that into things.
I'll say I mean, my disclaimer will be like, no, don't say it.
Bleep that
just
name.
beep that out and then for like 30 seconds it's like, beep.
I know, cover the mouth because you don't want the lip readers to actually make out what it is.
I know. I mean, but that's what I was going to say was you're telling me more about the Panto next year than I've asked my mother at all. I was like, oh, you're doing Peter Pan, great.
Brilliant.
She's always there.
Yeah,
it's fine.
No, I kind of I love I like the way the Kings now is going down this kind of route of inclusion.
Yeah.
I think about like buildings, theatres like that have been going for so long. Like get used to a kind of certain thing. The audiences get used to a kind of certain thing. Whereas like Crossroads, like the company that do them are going, no, like it's time to, like everything's moving on.
Yep. Yeah.
So
Sometimes get a bit, and it's like Panto is, and it's really, I can't speak for the whole of England, but I feel like English Pantos are really, really different from Scottish Pantos. We are a lot more like, okay, this is in Glasgow, so we're going to talk about Glasgow stuff and we're going to reference Glasgow things and like blah, blah, blah. And it gets, what they're sort of doing in my opinion, legal minefield, is slightly dated. Like and I love that, like, especially when you're doing things like Aladdin.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can we not wear the wee Chinese wigs anymore?
I know,
And
please.
like,
Get the bob away.
Why is all the dancers wearing these wee bobs?
Yeah.
Why are we all wearing...
And they're all black, and that doesn't suit her skin tone.
But I'm just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And then even stuff like weirdly, not jarring's the wrong word, but for me to realise, like, a Panto Nepo baby, I've seen a million Pantos, and then there's 3 black dancers, and I'm like, oh wow, like you just never saw it before.
I know, and that's the thing, like, especially when it's Panto, when that's accessible and that's people's first experience of theatre, and like then people go and they want to see themselves, and it's like, well, give them what they want to see, like, because there's enough talented, extremely talented people out there who can do it. I mean, I will say this. Not every actor or every performer can do pantomime.
Correct.
Because
Exactly.
it's a very specific skills. But to be able to see that, like, that's the thing. When, like, I would never have, like, when I used to go to the Kings, like, as a wee boy, like, never did I ever think that I would go out and see, like, an openly gay character on stage, because that's the thing, they don't. I was like, am I like, have I got a girlfriend or something? Like that?
I need to just pretend.
You can have a boyfriend. Like, so it's all of that kind of
Jared
stuff.
Kelly fancying the princess every single year. You were like, no, you don't. No, you don't. You fancy the prince.
Why are you looking at that dancer?
Like, exactly. Like, even me being like 10, I was like, Jared, come on.
I know. What the hell's going on? Yeah.
Oh, I love that, man.
Yeah.
But first,
can I actually tell you a really, really funny story?
Go for it. And then we'll get on to what I was actually going to talk about. So this happens every podcast. We're like, no, but can we actually talk about what I've written down? Like,
I was in a taxi, and for whatever reason, I mentioned Jared Kelly's name. And
Panto God, Panto Star.
Yeah. And this was after he passed away.
Right.
And I was sitting in this taxi, and the taxi driver was like, "Oh, I play pool with him every weekend. I play and this and that." And I was like, "No, you don't." I realised he thought I was talking about. Oh no, he's like, "I used to play," or whatever it was. He was talking about Gerard Butler. And I was like, "No, I'm not talking about Gerard Butler."
I'd love to play pool with Gerard Butler every weekend.
Although that's quite a good claim to fame.
Yeah,
I know.
He's like, I play pool with him. I grew up with him and all that.
So you went from Brookside to Gladiator.
That's so.
But I was
funny.
so confused for like a good 10 minutes. I was like, "You're lying."
But you know that way with taxi drivers, you just go, "Did you?"
I did.
know.
That was
Yeah. I remember saying in a taxi driver once that I was an actor. And went, "Oh, so you're a professional liar then?"
Oh,
yes, that is what I am.
Yes.
Oh my god!
What will I've seen you in?
I know,
Yeah.
no, but that's my sidebar, which I will get onto what I've written down.
Yeah.
Me and so Daniel Cullen, who did you know? Did you? No, I don't think you did. Dan did the Panto at Edinburgh the year before. Did you do the Bears?
I
in
did.
Edinburgh?
I was Goldilocks.
So he
Yeah.
did the year.
He done Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast the year before,
Right.
but he directed Sad Girls Club,
Right.
Big Pal, all that sort of stuff. We did a show in Edinburgh called The Work in Progress, which was about being sort of jobbing actors, and like how shite it is and all that sort of stuff, right? And hilarity ensues. But we did this whole opening bit where we're just listing, like, oh, and I can't be arsed with the questions from the boss and your pals and all the taxi drivers. And we did it at a scratch. Oh my God, that was it. If I could bottle this audience we had at this scratch night, because it was all actors, right? As soon as we said taxi drivers, we had to stop because people were killing themselves laughing, knowing what was coming. And we sort of jumped into this like taxi driver bit where he's the taxi driver and he goes like, "Oh, so you at that uni then?" And I go, "Oh, no, I'm an actor." And he goes, "Oh, an actor, what have I seen you in?" And then like, still game, like, what was the school one? Waterloo Road. And I was like, no, like, especially for me, I was like, unless you've been in Cafe gymatoriums in Shetland, you've not seen me do anything. Like, I was like, exactly. So, but it was like, no. And it's like, "Oh no, I'm actually doing this show at the Fringe right now." And it's like, "Oh, why don't you just get on the phone to James McAvoy? I had him in my taxi once. He'll give you a wee job."
He never picks up. I phone him all the time.
But you're like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
And then of course, as soon as you put in my mum's address, all the taxi drivers know that that's
Of
where
course,
she is.
yeah.
So I've been steaming in the back of taxis, being like 21, all my pals getting off and up here. So what's your mum up to now? You're giving away trade secrets. Fucking stupid.
Things that she's signed DNA for, and you're not.
I'm like, well, actually,
You're like,
she's
I
doing
didn't
this.
sign nothing.
I know, honestly. But anyway,
Go.
so we always start off the podcast
Yes.
with this little question. It's a good question.
Yes.
Darren, what you sad about this
I'm
week?
sad about being old.
You're sad about being old?
Yes.
Have you shed a tear about being old?
Well, the first time that I remember, like, so I'm turning 28. I'm not turning 28. I'm turning 40 in January. And
Looking good for it.
thank
you.
you.
Look good.
I spend a lot of money on my face.
On the way up in the lift, he literally caught himself in the mirror and went, "Oh, my Botox."
I was like, oh, I love that shine. But no, I was. I remember at my 30th, and I was actually living in the West End, and I was having a party that night. I was having my 30th at the Tron Theatre, and that morning I kind of woke up like with this kind of like doom over me. I went turning 30, and I was like. And I looked around my room and I was like, I don't have anything. Like, I don't even own that bed. And I was like, I think I owned the mattress on the bed, but that was it.
Yeah.
And then, like, my flatmate would kind of got me down. They ended up having a brilliant night. But now, like, hurtling, and it seems like I was 30 minutes ago. And now I'm nearly 40. And I don't know whether it's me or whether it's Gen Z and Gen Alpha that make me feel old. Because
You looked at me as if I'm Gen Z or
No,
Gen
you're
Alpha.
not.
I'm a millennial.
Are you still a millennial? Are you a millennial?
Yeah.
Am I in that category? I'm 33.
Yeah, you're a
Yeah,
millennial. Yeah.
I
think it's
I
like
just turned
85 to
30.
like 80 to 95.
Right,
It's
right,
like,
right.
That's kind of like the. And I am
generation.
an older millennial, and that's the thing. I remember going when I was like. Going, oh my God, everyone keeps on getting down on us because we're millennials.
Like, leave me alone.
They're getting down on the Gen Zers.
And now I'm like that. Jen said, fuck off. I remember at Christmas there, we'd finished Panto and all the dancers wanted to go out and they're like that, you're from Glasgow, where should we go? And I was like, well, try this place. Are we allowed to say places?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was Wonderbar.
Oh,
And it was a
yes.
Sunday-
I've never been.
Yeah, well, neither have I. Because so, like, it was like a Sunday night. So I was like, we'll finish the show. We're all like that. We'll go down there. It'll be great. And then it ended up being that there had been a football game on that day and some Rangers players were in the bar. So there was like a huge queue to get in. And like, and I was like that, I don't wait in queues. Like, I'm done with waiting in queues just to get into a club. But of course now I'm like that. Come on, we must know somebody. Who do we know? Who do we know to get in here? So I then was like that. I can wait in this queue to get in, and just listening to shite talk as you're waiting to get in. And they all wanted to get in because like Rangers players were in there, and I don't care about football at all. I've got no interest in it. Like, it's useless and pointless to me. So that was kind of like probably when this real kind of hatred started because it was also raining. I didn't really want to go to this place. I was like, let's just go to Polo. Well, that's what ended up happening. We were waiting in the queue for like 50 minutes, got to the front of the queue, and by this point I was like that. One of the other younger dancers was, Darren, like, say that you're in Rivercity so that we can get in. And I went, they don't watch Rivercity. No. I can tell you right now, this is not my demographic. My demographic is middle-aged women. Yes. There's none of them here. So I was like, oh, well, it won't work. So I just went, excuse me, mate, like, we've been waiting now 50 minutes to get in. Like, is there any... We were at the front of the queue.
Yeah, like, just want to know.
Is there any way at all that we're going to get in? He ignored me. And then I was like, excuse me, mate. And he turned around and was like, I heard you. And as soon as he did that, I didn't even respond. I just went like that. Chris, who was with me, that was playing the Prince, I went, come on, Chris, we've got to Polo. And then we ran out to Polo, getting no bother, had a brilliant night.
Yeah.
And I think it's just like, goes in with then like Scottish TikTok. So I think like Scottish TikTok makes me feel old when I go on and I see someone who's like, hi, I'm at private school. Let's get ready with me.
Yeah.
And it's like all putting on, and like before I know it, like I've been then sitting like for 3 hours watching Scottish TikTok of like the youth of Scotland going, just allowing myself to
Yeah.
get angry.
Yeah, you're going like, what does that mean? And what does
Like language,
been
like
told-
that's lit. We're not in America. Like, why are you
I am
saying-
living right now though for these old, like, it's like different places
Yeah.
that are doing, like, but they're getting their older staff members to do
yeah.
like Gen Z.
I'm gonna have to get my mum to do it. It'll be fucking
Oh,
hilarious.
get your mum to do it. It'll be so
What
funny.
is that?
So it's like they'll say, so it'll be like the marketing department or whatever, and they'll be like, when you let the Gen Z intern write the script for the older person in the office to do,
Yeah.
and it'll be like, I don't know, fucking showing a house or whatever, and they're like, this is one of our amazing houses, no cap. And then they'll go like, and this is
Slay.
this sleigh hunty, and they're
This
'cause
room is giving dining room vibes. Like, all of that.
it's giving.
Yeah.
It's like brat summer up in here, and it is so it's so good.
Oh my God, I think I've seen this. Is
Yeah.
that a women with like long
They're
kind of...
all
they're all
doing
over the
it.
place. So
Edinburgh Zoo did it.
Edinburgh
Brilliant.
Zoo did it.
Uh-huh.
Glasgow Children's Hospital Charity did
Yeah.
it for their shopping Buchanan galleries. It's just too good.
It's so
It's
funny.
basically
But I
old
think-
people ripping the pish out of Gen Zers.
But I think that's it. It's like, it starts off of going like that, ha ha ha, no one talks like that, that's funny,
Yeah.
into then witnessing it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
actually hearing folk communicate that way and going like that, we're pure turning into America. And I grew up in a time in the 90s where
Aye.
like, all of those, like that was when like every child had cavities in their teeth.
Aye.
Because all of these like nerds and all these American sweets became available in the UK, and we were just shoving them down our throats and all of that, and everyone ended up getting holes in
Yeah.
their teeth. That was like the dream was, I just
The
love to go
American dream.
to move to America. Whereas now I'm kind of going like that, you can stick your America up your ass. Like, I'm not interested because of Gen Z.
Oh no, my boyfriend does that. Like, he comes from like a wee place in Kilmarnock,
Yeah.
and like he said in his head, like America, like it was like
The American dream.
He became obsessed with it. He also weirdly became obsessed with 9/11, but I think that's
Oh.
because, like, just as like a wee boy when that
Conspiracy.
happened, like that's all we saw on TV was
Yeah.
like, it was just like every year there's this. So he was
Yeah.
like, he fucking watched every documentary about it.
Yeah.
Stuff. I'm like, you're autistic. So,
That's the tism.
Do you keep on watching Friends over and over
He
again?
does. It's also it's very it's very funny because David's older brother is autistic,
Right.
And I'd turn to him sometimes and go, so like, see when your brother was getting tested, did they just leave
Nobody
you in the
thought-
car, or like where were you? And he's always like, ha ha ha, so funny. And then his mum, oh my god, I'm going on a pure tangent. His mum gave us like, you know that way your mum keeps all your jotters and things like that
Oh,
for
yeah.
no reason.
Yeah.
So of course now they're sitting in my house. So I was like, oh, I just thought I didn't want to chuck them out, blah blah blah. And there was one jotter that David did this for fun, wrote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like
All the
throughout
numbers.
the jotter, wrote every single number in order until he ran out of pages.
That's the
And I'm
tism.
like,
Oh my God.
babes, like,
What is that film with Nicolas Cage? You know, like that. What is that? You know,
All
that
the
one where all the
numbers
numbers written down. Like, you're like that. That could mean something.
but
No.
David just sort of goes like, yeah. And then
So
goes,
right, if Hannah ever turns up murdered, Darren, me and you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or you could go like that to him. Do you know when the end of the world's going to be?
I know,
Yeah,
like, just
yeah.
let us know.
And he'll
Give
go
us a
like
heads
that.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I not mean?
I don't know. Forgot to say, don't buy that Costco cake because by the time we'll not be able to finish it.
I know,
Yeah.
Emma, what you said about this week?
What am I sad about this week? Right, so I was out and I was wearing a pair of wedge heels.
Oh, a wedge.
Love a wedge.
A cork wedge.
A cork wedge.
Oh.
And I've worn these wedges hundreds of times before.
Yeah, where about you?
I was on a date.
Emma's a newly single queen. So-
Very good. I am a
So-
not newly single person.
We'll go out one night. I don't
Yeah.
know. We'll be each other's wing.
Yeah, there
go
we
to Polo
go.
Lounge.
I know.
Go polo. And I was on a date. I was wearing these nice heels, and I've worn these hundreds of times before.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, they decided to dig into me. I don't know if I had too much water in my feet or whatever it was, or if I was sweating or whatever it was.
I'm bloating.
But I'm bloating in my feet. But honestly, it gave me the worst. It wasn't even a blister. It was more like a friction burn
Oh,
on my ankle.
you don't want that.
And let me tell you, it has been painful.
like bringing a tear to your
Like
eye.
bringing a tear
So
to my
what
eye.
is it that's your thing? Is it the wedge or your feet?
So my feet really hurt.
So,
and I'm
yeah.
sad that shoes that I really love cause me pain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now that we're old, we shouldn't be wearing high heels anymore.
Exactly. And I was just like, I wanted to do it just to make to give definition to my leg.
I do miss a high heel.
Were you a high heel wearer?
Well, no, but I miss seeing them.
Yeah. Oh no, it's very
Like,
trainers.
from my dance background, because like about how it like elongates your leg and makes everything look streamlined and all of that. And now it's like, it's like I hate it. Jen said, I hated that look that they had, like with the wee dresses.
Yeah.
Beautiful, like
Samba.
like with Samba or Converse.
Yeah,
Or
Converse.
those big feeler things.
Aye.
And I'm always like that. Why have you ruined this?
Where's the elegancy?
Yeah, or Vans, the uniform of Vans.
Yes,
those
no.
black and white Vans. Everyone's wearing them. Under 25s. Vans.
No, I do hate that of like.
Oh, you got a wee bubble in your throat there. I heard that.
I've decided to have like really milky coffee there. I don't know why. Emma's also drinking wine out of her
Wine
cup
out
right
my
now. If you,
It says, sometimes you forget that you're awesome, so this is your reminder.
it's a very
Oh.
millennial cup.
And a
you've got
very
there.
millennial.
Yes.
Sip, sip.
You don't
She's
need
got-
to be crazy to work here, but it helps.
She's got live, laugh, love on our walls in our house.
Welcome to the madhouse.
No, but I fucking hate that where it's like, and I think I was even like that like as a teenager. I'm like, why are we all wearing the same thing?
Yeah.
I do not want to be wearing the same.
Yeah.
They're literally like, you go into fucking the food court in St Enoch Centre and it's like the matrix of girls,
Yeah.
like just, and even guys as well.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Yeah.
going, is that not embarrassing? Like you're going on a night out with your pal. What you wearing? I'm going to wear black jeans and a white top
Yeah.
that costs 50 quid.
My Hugo Boss top.
Aye, and then I'm going.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to wear the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why?
In a different colour, because then it's different.
But sometimes they're not even doing the
I know.
different colour. I'm like, that's embarrassing.
Montclair and all of that, you're kind of going like that. How did you get that? How did you get that, Montclair? I don't believe it. I think it's fake. Because you're like that. You're 20. You've not been working long enough to get a Montclair.
Or is
Unless mummy and daddy paid for it,
Oh,
of
of
course.
Of course.
Oh, my
Yeah.
nephew Charlie's 18 now, which
Yeah.
is fucking mental.
That's mental.
He can drive a car before I fucking can. Like, I'm like, he's like texting me going, "Do you want a lift round to the house?" I'm like, "No, it's fine. I'll walk."
He's an absolute grab for that boy, though.
I know he
Good
is,
on him.
and he's.
I'm not getting in a car with you.
I know, but I'm just like, how weird is that? Like my baby nephew, 18, driving me, being like, "So what you been up to?" I'm like, "No,
No.
Like,
I mean, that'd be good, though, on a night out
Oh,
and you
yeah.
kind of get a taxi.
oh, he wants to drive
Because he'll be that
everywhere.
age where that's what all he wants to do is just drive everywhere.
Yeah.
I've just passed my test as well.
Oh, congratulations!
Well, last year, but I've only been driving a year, and my God, I was like that at the start when I was like that.
pick you up.
I'll take
pick
you.
you up.
I'll take you. Now I'm like that. Fuck off. Like I
You're
used
going to pay me for fuel?
I know you
I
give
know.
me petrol money.
Oh my God, got to give me petrol money.
I know.
You owe me £2.50.
If you're
fucking
starting
hate
meeting
that.
us and people get in your
I
car.
know. Just for a taxi service. I'll skip what I'm sad about. I'm actually.
No,
I'm
tell us
actually-
what you're sad about.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. I've started, but I've almost got too much work on at the
Okay.
moment. You know that way, as a self-employed person, you go,
You
aye,
kept-
I'll do
kept
it.
saying
I'll
yes.
do everything.
Everything.
I'll do everything. Aye, I'll do that, and aye, I'll write a script at the same time, and yeah, I'll do those shows, and blah, blah, and now I'm going, fuck.
And I'll do a podcast.
And
know.
I'll do a podcast that I'm paying for myself, and aye, because like for the podcast, like I as much as producer Paul produces
Producer Paul.
and provides for us,
Yeah.
I get sent over all the footage, and I make TikToks, and I
Yeah.
upload it, and I write the copy for it, and then I work at Glasgow. I'm literally back 2 days ago at Glasgow Comedy Festival, even though the festival's in March. I'm
Yeah.
like,
That's
what
good,
do-
though.
I know, but I'm like, what did I do? What do you want me to do? I literally today was like clicking back and forth from my email, just like looking busy.
I'm just going to start sending emails now.
Yeah, and then I was
Who
like,
am I trying to convince that I'm doing something here?
and I think
said you-
everybody else is doing the same thing.
What is it in The Simpsons where like Homer just gets that little tipping duck?
That's
Keep
right,
pressing
to
the
keep
button.
pressing the button to make sure
But-
that
aye,
the
and
nuclear
then-
plant
Yeah.
isn't destroyed.
But then I'm going to be working for the company that runs the Christmas market in
Oh, yeah.
Edinburgh. So I'm going to be doing social media for them. Which means I'm just going to get people messaging being like, why is it so fucking expensive?
I know.
Why is this queue so long? Like, why?
There wasn't enough Baileys in my hot chocolate.
Like, I'm like, that's what I'm
I
going to be
also
doing.
think, like, see when you go to these things, like whether it be like any sort of festival or whatever it is, and people complain about the prices.
You decided to come.
You knew, like, you know it's going to be expensive.
You said you could do it when you wrote in.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I know. So I'm going to be
Stop
dealing with
moaning.
that. That starts, I don't know, next Monday, I think, maybe.
what,
And
the
then-
Christmas thing?
Just like all the...
Babes, Christmas is
huge.
here.
I know.
It's
I
now.
know.
Like, that's it.
That's
We're
it.
past August. It's Christmas
Have you,
now.
Normally
have
I'm
you
a-
done your Panto fittings and stuff yet?
Yeah.
Because we've seen him in his outfits
I've
on
done
the
my
poster.
the one.
No, but that's that's the mysticalness of it.
that the illusion?
Sometimes wear something different.
Sometimes they just give you a run of the mill outfit.
Yeah.
Get a picture of
You
you
look
in it.
fabulous anyway.
Thank you very much. Yes.
But yeah, I think that's it. I think I'm just going, what the fuck about? And I've got a cat. And
You got a cat?
Yeah, I've spoken about that on the last one as well. I've got a cat. Her name's Lady. She's beautiful.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, am I a bad mum if I'm not there all the time? And like,
No, it's a cat.
I know, but
They're
she's
literally
just,
that feet being, that's it.
she's just a little
Is
baby.
it a house
baby.
cat?
A house cat.
Yeah.
Because we live on the 3rd floor.
Yeah.
So, and next to a main road. So I just was like, no, I would never sleep at night.
I have a friend who used to live in the high rises across the road from the sets that have been knocked down now. And he lived on, I think it was like the 19th or the 18th floor of that. And he had a cat called Lucasade. And that cat fell out that window and survived. And it survived.
It lands on their
survived?
feet.
Yeah. Yeah, it survived.
Oh yeah, the cat fucking jumped out my arms the other day and took a running jump into our mirror,
Yeah.
bounced off, and then just sort of like got up and walked away. I was like,
Okay.
oh, okay.
I mean, like, we slag him all the time and go like that. You pushed that cat. Like that. It was very windy and it get caught in a draft. Like, right.
Poor cat.
I
Just
know.
went, "Meow."
I just love that it was called Lucasade.
Aye.
And then you lose it and you have to go out and shout, look at it.
I know.
That's it. Our cat's called Lady, and so I'm going to have to be like, Lady, like down Shettleston.
Well,
like,
I've got a wee dog called Dolly, and when we first moved house, we've now moved across the road from us as a cemetery, and it's great, like, because it's just a nice big, it's gated, so you
Yeah.
can let her off and all of the lead, and she's not going to go anywhere apart from in there. So, and it's sometimes nice, just it was really peaceful and that, and but it's crap when there's so I let her off one day, and a squirrel was and it ran. The dog just ran chasing the squirrel. And I went from one end of the cemetery to the other end. And as I was running to the other end, I was like, oh, shite, there's a blooming funeral going on.
oh no, mourners.
Yeah. So she runs through this funeral. And so I'm shouting, Dolly! Dolly, come back! Dolly!
To be fair,
I know.
if I was at a funeral stressing,
That'd be-
depressing
that'd be
because someone had
fucking
passed
funny.
away, that would actually make
Well,
my
they
day.
did kind of laugh and all that, but I was mortified. Like, going like,
So sorry, excuse me.
I know. I didn't even do. I was just like that running through, going, Dolly, Dolly. And then like when I got home, like a pure fell out. Where I was like, "You will sit there, you little boot."
Think about what you did.
I know.
The dog's just looking at you.
She's
like,
like, no, I never spoke to her for like a good couple hours, and then when Johnny, who I live with, came in, he was like that. I was like, "You will not believe what that girl did today." It's like, well, we're peer parents over this
what our
dog.
child did at school.
I know.
Darren, do you know that when you Google you, a Partick Thistle player comes up? So I did the same with Kieran, who was on last week. I just was like, I think I know things about you, but I'm just going to go and double check.
Yeah.
And then I kept being like, I must have spelled his name wrong. No, double checked it. But then what it does is it's now just merged
It
the two of you.
amalgamates us both together.
So it's a picture of him, Partick Thistle player, 28.
Yeah.
And then like you next, and then like headlines of you, but then him. And I
Yeah.
was just like, what the fuck?
I get people message me on Twitter all the time, go like that. Well played on Saturday, mate. That was great.
Are they being funny or are they like
No,
being
like they
serious?
genuinely just are like looking through Twitter and they find Darren Brownlie that lives in Scotland and goes
That's
like that,
got
that'll
loads
be
of followers,
him.
aye.
And they just message me like, brilliant, you were great. And I'm always like that, thank you very much. No. I
love
thought I
the
played really well
sports.
offside in aggregate. I thought that was, I don't know what these words mean.
I did a
at all.
good touchdown.
Yeah, no, I love my wee costume.
As it is really funny. No, Martin McFilmy.
Oh, yeah,
Kate's
Martin,
pal.
yeah.
Martin McFilthy is what he gets called.
Yes.
But there was like, I don't know. So I just like knew that he said this, but he randomly like on nights out will just be like, "Mon the Jags," right? But then everybody sort of goes woo round him, and I was like, what the fuck? And it was like Kate's hen do, my sister's hen do, he was on, and every like sort of thing we were doing, like taking a shot, he's like, "Mon the Jags," like that, which is obviously Partick Thistle's nickname or something like that. I don't fucking know.
It's like a
And
wee sun that looks like a germ. Have you ever seen what it looks
Oh
like?
yeah,
Yeah.
See the sort of weird one, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And it was like someone had their engagement party or something in Partick Thistle's like hall that's attached to them or something like that.
The hall.
And whatever, the bar that's attached.
Yeah.
And so he just kept, like, he thought it was really funny to, like, pretend that he liked football. So just the whole time we'd say, I'm on the Jags.
I'm on the Jags.
But now it's became, like, part of, like,
His
A night
personality.
part of his personality, part of my sister's personality.
Yeah. Here lies Phil, here Mark
McFilthy.
McFilthy. What a Jags.
One of the
That'll be on his stone.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
I don't. So we're just gonna. Well, I have you.
Yes.
So are you still teaching drama? Are you still doing your?
So yeah, I was not so much now. I was for a long time. I just can't give it the time that it needs now and everything.
Which is almost good that you're working so much.
I used to. Yeah, I worked in New College, Lanarkshire.
That's where I went when it was formerly known as Motherwell
Motherwell.
College. Aye.
Motherwell.
I used to teach there on there. I taught on the acting course and the musical theatre course, and I taught at RCS, the Conservatoire. I taught. I was a lecturer there as well. And it is great that I work so much. I work so much.
Don't make me sing.
Don't make me sing. But I think now that I'm actually kind of glad to not be doing it anymore, because I think now there's such a responsibility on lecturers, specifically with teaching vocational studies.
Yeah.
Because of things I find, because of things like TikTok and social media in general, you get a lot of people who expect you to make them famous.
Yeah.
And that's not what it is. It's a vocation. It's you need to, it's really, really, really hard. and I think now that so there's a huge responsibility for that at the moment. I mean, eventually it'll go away. There's a lot of the way that the way that I was taught, you could never have
You could never
you
have
could
it.
never
I
go
was the
back to
same.
that
Like,
anymore.
break you down to build you up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they just forget to build you back up.
You're like traumatized.
Sometimes I do miss that though, because I think the way.
So Emma's a drama teacher. So this is why I was
Right.
asking.
Okay.
Was
So I teach at like extracurricular
Yeah,
schools,
yeah.
so people who are maybe going into vocational, so kind
Yeah.
of kids from age 4 to
Yeah.
maybe 16, 17, 18.
Yeah.
Out with of like their high school and primary school. But I think if I were to teach kids the way that I was taught,
Yeah.
I would lose my job.
Yeah.
But I sometimes miss. I think the backbone that I have
Yes,
is
because of
because sometimes I was just told
Yeah.
you're shit right
Yeah.
now and you're not doing your best. And
I
It
remember
took me to graduate though. It took me to leave school to kind of go like that. Oh God, they weren't actually being personal.
Yeah, it was
about
that-
me
yeah.
as a person. It was just that
They had
the choices that I made, or even sometimes the work that I done
Yeah.
wasn't good enough.
yeah, 100%.
And whereas now it's like there's that kind of like line of people feeling all the time that it's a personal
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
jibe at them of going like that. You're crap. And it's like, and even now I realise now, oh God, that wasn't that. So yeah.
No,
But
I
it's
realised that
very tough.
At college, I never got into the prestigious drama schools.
I saw what you make.
I know. But that was it. That I remember being like annoyed that people weren't taking it seriously enough and like all this sort of. I was like, we're here every fucking day, and like I just want people to take it seriously as I'm taking it and all this. And sometimes like I would get so annoyed that I was like, my lecturer's not doing that stuff. He's not breaking me down, or he's not like giving me constructive feedback or anything like that. I remember I went to like another teacher and I was like, I just want to know, am I doing a good job? Like no one's saying anything, like I'm not getting anything back. And she was like, Hannah, if nobody's saying anything, you're doing a fucking class job.
Yeah.
I'll
And I
keep
think that
doing
was
what I'm doing until I'm told no to do it.
Yeah, like he's not coming in going like, you're a fucking shit or like anything like that. But I was like, oh, right, okay. And then I think I realised like, because of my mum and all that sort of stuff, like I treated it like a job. Like there was loads of people who were there just for like funsies.
Yeah.
Like just
I'm
being
here
like,
for the socials.
like literally just being like, oh, I was good at drama in school, so I just thought I'd do
Yeah.
it. Whereas I was like, oh no, like if I'm doing this,
want
I'm
to do
doing this.
this.
And
Yeah.
I showed up on time every day and I did all this. And like I think it was like watching that's like, I think for a lot of people they see my mum or they see you doing Panto and they go like, oh my God, that's so much fun. But it's hard.
Yeah.
It's tiring. It's
Yeah.
I mean, it's as you said, it's not everyone can do Panto. It's a it's a tough gig. It's
Yeah,
hard.
it's that time of year as well to be like away from. Well, you must have had like every Christmas where you only saw your mum on Christmas Day kind of thing.
Oh no,
Do you know
but
what I mean?
we get around Christmas Day and she'll maybe she'll listen, who knows. She will get her on Christmas Day, and that's the day that she'll decide that she's having everybody over. And
She puts a shift in.
but actually has a mental breakdown every year and goes, I'm never doing this again.
I did that.
I am never doing this.
The first year I moved into my new house, I was doing the Kings and I went like that. I'm going to have Christmas dinner. No,
Everyone come round.
I'm going to do it.
I want
And
to see everybody.
I know. I want everyone to come to my new house. And then, like, I did that. I had a breakdown where literally, like, I went in the next day to your mum going like that. I never got a break. I never got a break. They wanted my shorties and they were saying that they had roast shorties. Mum would get let out. And she was like that. And she, of course, sat there going, darling,
Yes.
I know.
But then, of course, you fucking suggest to her, like, so she was like, okay, so like, Kate, like maybe Katie's isn't big enough, and maybe this, and like, so maybe she started doing crazy stuff about being like, so maybe we'll have the starters in my house, and then we'll go to Kate because we all live near each other. And she was like, and then we'll go to Katie's house, and we'll have the main meal there. And then I was like, oh yeah, like fully, like my flat's tiny, but I'll happily have everybody in. Why don't we do, or like just scrap that? Why don't we do like a potluck situation of like everybody brings something? Yeah. A potluck. Hannah. And
This
then
is Christmas Day.
and then I was like, okay, like maybe not that. Maybe so the biggest room in my house is like my hall.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, why don't we put a table in there, next to the toilet?
Where's your class?
And I was like, well, it's either that
That's the
or
only
you
option.
fucking do it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And then she ended up fucking doing it.
But this year I'm like that because like
No.
we've been doing the same every year. And this year I went like that. Let's go out.
Yeah.
Let's see what it's like to go out just for 1 year.
I think that's
My
what we're
mum
doing
would
this
love
year.
to do that 1 year. She's
Yeah.
like, 1 year, it would just be nice just to go out on
Yeah.
Christmas Day.
Because it's also the thing as well, like sometimes when it gets to the end of Christmas dinner, you're literally like that. I'm knackered and now I just want to sit and watch the telly.
Aye.
But you've got like 10 people in your house
We
and you
need
need
to
to
play
stay up, and
games.
you've always got that one person who just wants to sit with the bottle of Sambuca and coffee in front of them all night and just sip it. And you're like, I can't go to my
Me.
bed till they're gone. Whereas if you go out,
Yep.
you're like that, right, we're going to go.
But you
and if
have
you
the
want to
best
stay
time.
here, you can
You
stay.
are welcome, but
Yeah.
I'm away in my bed.
Yeah.
I know. So are you excited about Panto this year?
I am. I
Yes.
always am. I love Christmas. That's my, when it gets, everyone's like, can't wait for summer. I'm like that. I can't wait for Christmas because I really do honestly think this is the old gay romantic in me that's literally like, I really do think it's the most wonderful time of the year because I think it's like, I mean, I know that folk get stressed and all of that about Christmas Day, about cooking a turkey, but I pure love it.
It's a
And
very
you did
romantic
the-
time of year as well. isn't it?
Yeah.
And you
for
did
a
the
single
Tron
person. I did that for 10,
You did the Tron
for
Panto
10 years.
10 years?
Yeah.
And then where
Yeah.
did you start doing Panto? What was the...
So I've literally done Panto or a Christmas show every single year of my life since I was probably about 9.
That's
Oh.
beautiful.
Because like I went to Pace and I did the kids at Pace would always do they'd
Yeah,
always
they
do
would
the
always do
ensemble
the-
for the
yep,
Pace
yep.
Panto at the Arts Centre, and then like I went through a stage of doing there was in like a Babe and the Kings and I was a kid when
Yeah,
I did that. It was back when it was Dorothy Paul, and then. When I went to college, we were allowed to go and be dancers at Christmas. We're another company, not the one I work for now. And then when I moved back up here,
They shall not be named.
yeah, so the one year that I did, it was at the Conservatoire. They do this Christmas at the Conservatoire thing, which is like a big band concert. And then after that, I've been doing it every year since then. So that's like I'm one of these Waynes that I've done performing arts
Yeah, so
since
it's
they were
in
tiny.
your blood.
Yeah.
Can you remember the worst one or the weirdest one?
Legal minefield.
I know.
Yeah,
Don't say any names.
the weirdest one was when
No, because like me and Emma have done, so that's how we met, was doing like kiddies pantos.
Yeah.
So Emma and my friend Dan ran like a little theatre company.
Yeah.
Kapow Theatre
Right.
Scotland, because it all needs to be some sort of like crazy name.
yeah buzzword. What's the buzzword?
I think Dan picked it as a joke pretty much because he'd
Yeah.
worked for all these like wee touring kids theatre schools
Yeah.
or whatever, and they were all called like something crazy, like
Yeah.
adjective, like,
Boing.
yeah. But yeah, but like I've done crazy stuff with you guys. I'm always a skunk.
You were a
for
skunk.
some reason. I'm always Funky the Skunk,
Yeah.
which I still have issue with, of the fact that it either should be Funky Skunky
Yeah.
or Funk the Skunk.
Funk this guy.
But
Don't
Funk-
say that when you're streaming.
but Funky the Skunk, I still have issues
the
with.
first part that I played at the Tron Panto was Pansy McNaughty, who lived in a pot. I was a little sunflower.
But do you not think like you end up in these situations where like you're taking it really seriously and it's your art and like blah blah blah,
Yeah.
but you are dressed as a fucking skunk.
During lockdown, I did like a Zoom panto, and I was the golden goose. And they were like that. They were like, pick some, just go mental with it. And all I could think of was this book. Was it just a goose was this all the time? And like looking back, I go like that. Why did I do that? I think I was dealing with lockdown. That this was the way it was coming out. That was it the entire time. And it's online for the rest of my life. It's on YouTube.
That's it. It's never coming down.
Yeah.
It's the Partick Thistle player, that video. Like,
Me as a golden goose. And
Saying
like,
that though, I think New College Lanarkshire are doing Mother Goose this year, which
Yeah.
Amy's in.
Right.
Amy.
And I auditioned for it as well, and I've not auditioned for Panto in a good couple of years.
Yeah.
And I thought, no, I'm going to dip my toe back in. I need to start getting back out there and being proactive. And I auditioned for Mother Goose's daughter.
Jill? Is it Jill? Jack and Jill? Is it
know.
Jack and Jill
I
and
can't
Mother
mind.
Goose?
I think they pick a name.
They pick and choose.
Yeah.
But basically, I went
Who
in.
cares?
Who cares? But I went in.
Moira.
Not that we're into the lore of it at
Yeah.
all. Like,
But how was it though?
Yeah, no, it was lovely because I knew everybody on the panel, so it
Yeah.
was fine. It was a very welcoming environment. It was a good laugh. But really, I was going in because I want to be the goose. And I'm going to be really upset if the goose turns out to be a person. I'm like, oh, okay, great.
what did you want to be in this suit?
I want to be a goose. I think I'd make a great
fact.
goose.
By the way, fun fact, before we wrap things up, there was potentially going to be a COVID Kings panto at one point, right?
Right.
And they were looking for bubbles of actors,
Oh,
right?
I know this story.
And of course,
'Cause we're
my mum
friends.
was like, "Here, wait a minute, Hannah, you sort of do acting, don't you?" And I was like, "Yes, mother,
Yes, I did train.
yes, I'm sort of classically trained, and as much as City of Glasgow College could provide." But she was like, "Oh, like." We could probably they just need number, like they need to see who they've got and blah blah blah. And this is usually where I thrive of like we have a pool of people and you're sort of okay. Like come and see. That's usually
That's how Hannah and I know each other.
yeah, that's how I got jobs with Capel Theatre Scotland. But she was like, "Oh, I think we're going to do Mother Goose. Like, would you be the goose?" And I honestly was like, "I would
What
be
question?
honoured to be the goose
Yes.
in the panto." And it ended up not
Put
happening.
me in my wee mask inside that costume and I'll be fine.
But I've literally got that on my I've got it on my fucking spotlight that I do skin work. Which for those who are not in the know, that's like big costumes and
Yeah.
stuff like that, because I did it for I'm counting Funky the Skunk
That's
as
not
skin
costume.
work.
Well, that was like we were talking about skin work and like what was the craze? Like, I
Have you done that?
auditioned. No, I had to audition to a group audition for what was the Daisy in the flower
Upsy Daisy.
in the flower garden or
In
something.
the night garden.
In the night garden.
Upsy Daisy and my kids have a lot of friends. No, my kids have a lot of friends. My friends have a lot of kids.
in the
I've
night
had enough of mine.
garden, and that was skin work and all of that kind of stuff. And that was a moment of going like that. What the fuck
am I
is my
doing?
life? Because it was in a group of people who didn't know each other at all, and they were like that. Let's make up what the language is for this group. So pick a sound. So you've got folk like going about the place going. And then like all of that, and I stood for a while going like that. Oh my god! They all look like junkies.
But do you not think you've got that Glasgow thing in your brain? Maybe this is why I didn't get into the conservatoire, is because they want you to do all this like move around the space, eye contact, blah blah blah. And there's an arty bit of your brain that goes, "Oh yeah, okay, I'm into this and da da da." And there's a Glasgow bit of your brain that goes, "Fuck off,
I know.
shut up."
Well, that's the thing, because in Glasgow everyone knows each other when you go in for an audition, like, and especially then it's like there's going to be a movement call. Like you go in and you see your pals and you just say to them, "Don't you dare look at me during this, because I'll laugh. I'm trying to get a job here. I'm trying to pay my mortgage. Please don't look at me.
I have bills to pay.
I know, and if I laugh, I'll get chucked out. And it's usually someone with dirt at the front going, rub the dirt on yourself, and you're like, oh my god, I'm going to have to do
Why
this.
am I doing that? Yeah, what is it? The conservatoire got us to. They did it a couple of years because, of course, I re-auditioned many years. And
Well, that's good.
I got further through the process every time.
Yeah.
I didn't get in, and they just stole my money. Is what happened.
I
They
don't
wanted
think-
my 80 quid.
I know.
She's not bitter.
No, not at all.
It's nice to know you've forgotten about
Yeah, no,
that.
it's fine. But that's that. Like for a couple of years, they did this thing that was like in the workshop bit where they're like, pick an animal, be an animal around the room. And you're like, right, okay. And then I heard somebody say to me once that they were like, don't go for the big thing. They're looking at the people who are like on the outskirts, not showing off all this sort of
That's
stuff.
part of first year, the animal stuff, yeah.
So it was like, okay, I was like, I'll be a snake, right? I'll just be a snake in the corner. And then they were like, okay, now take the characteristics of the animal and be a person in a bar. And
Oh, a snake's an easy one.
I know,
to
but
do.
I think I was just like being sexy.
Yeah.
Please.
Every so often do that tongue thing.
I know, like, I was just like, what the fuck am I
I
doing?
did that in first year, and we had a teacher called Ziggy who was our movement teacher, and like, so again, like, I've got folk running around the room going caca and stuff like that. And little wee guy in London, a wee guy, a water, little wee guy from Glasgow, who's kind of looking at it, and I just did this for like a good 45 minutes of the class, and then at the end, the teacher was like, "Darren, like, what were you doing there?" And I was like, well, when you asked us to be born into the world, I just wasn't feeling that my amoeba was ready to be born into the world.
Did you get an A?
And
Did
it
you
was
get an A?
like, I absolutely see that. That
Stunning.
was very good.
Oh my God.
And of course, I just laying a ball on the floor for 45 minutes.
The legend that is Andy Gray
Yeah.
did it where he was the same, like wee boy from Perth, like
Yeah.
like showed up to drama school being like, what the fuck have I showed up to?
Yeah.
And it was like a wanky movement class, and they were all supposed to be chickens, and they had to be chickens around the room, and they were like, okay, so these are chickens, and now an atomic bomb has went off. And you have to react like chickens. And so what they want you to do is not... That's what I would do. What they want you to do is not react, because a chicken wouldn't fucking know what an atomic bomb is, right?
Of course.
But, so everybody starts to go, bah, 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 like running around.
I would do that because I'm dead.
I know.
Atomic death.
But then it was, I think, Andy Gray and one of his pals went, well, atomic bombs went off. Should we go to the pub in our last minute? And just walked out the class and went to the pub. And they were like, yeah, that's what my chicken would do. Anyway,
well,
we need
and
to wrap
drama,
up.
as long as you can justify it, there's no right
I
or
know,
wrong answers.
Exactly. No right or wrong choices.
A strong choice. is what they
Exactly.
want.
Strong and wrong,
Strong and
and
wrong.
right and shite.
Yes. That's Emma's favourite. You love being like, okay, do it again, but not shite this time.
No, I always, if I've ever seen a pal on a show, I just text him and say, don't be shy.
I
Don't
know.
be shite.
How do I do that?
It's not in my repertoire.
know.
Anyway, so we could sit and chat for fucking hours, but
Yeah.
we do need to wrap up. Producer Paul needs to go home.
Yes, of course.
So we do a lovely Woman of the Week.
Yes.
Is what we do. So you've prepared your Woman of the Week.
I have.
But hold on.
But wait, Darren.
Usually we have lovely Amy Clark, who is an amazing singer, and we throw a genre at her for a jingle to do
Okay.
a Woman of the Week jingle. She's not here, but you are a musical theatre.
Oh, you're not
star.
going to Don't make me say
So
make
your
me say
genre
Yeah.
is panto.
Could you
Right.
do a Panto style Woman of the Week jingle for us? Do you want?
Here we go.
Do you want to count in? Emma will count you in.
Hi, no, I'll go for it. I don't need a count, and I just go. Her name is Sally Reid. She's not very good at speed. She's the woman of the week. There you
Yay!
Yes.
That was beautiful. Maybe
Oh
we
my
should put
God,
them all
you're
on the
hitting
spot.
already.
Yeah,
If
that's
you
amazing.
can see my face through my Botox, I'm hitting already right now.
So, your Woman of the Week is your very good friend,
My
Sally
good
Reid.
friend, writer, direct. No, she's not a writer. She's a
You're giving
director.
her fucking
I know.
credits here.
She's a juggler, a DJ. She's good at accounts.
She can do skin work.
She can do, she's good at brilliant. But she is a Scottish actress. You might know her. Like, she was in Scott Squad for years and stuff like that. So she recently unfortunately she lost her mum, and the work that she's done for Maggie's over the last kind of 2-3 years has been incredible. Like, her and her dad and her brother and some of them, their friends, like, they got bikes and just rode all over Scotland. Like, I don't know, it was like 260 miles or something like that
wow.
they did. And now she's just been appointed an ambassador for Maggie's in Dundee.
Oh,
So
that's lovely.
I think that it's just finding, like, I don't know, I think when you're in this business as well, like, it's just so important to have other things to do, or don't let it consume you. And she's she's kind of used what happened with her mum and how Maggie's treated her, and is now just putting like all of her contacts and everything that she has to good for that. So that's
Amazing.
why
I
like
love that.
Sally Reid's my Woman of the
Woo,
Week.
we love you, Sally.
Yay,
Well done,
for Sally.
Amazing. Now, we're just going to wrap up. So, I
Okay.
told you before that this is, first and foremost, a club.
Yes.
So, you now need to tell us why you should be officially allowed into the Sad Girls Club. and then we'll give you a form to fill.
Fill in.
We'll do a.
Do you get a membership card?
Yeah, we should work on that. To be honest,
Platinum.
it costs money, Darren. I'm an actor. Like,
No. They'll make people envision it and go, here you are.
There'll be a ceremony.
So why should I be a
Why
member?
do you think in your heart of hearts that you're a sad girl and you're allowed in the Sad Girls Club?
Oh, can I take it back to being... That's why like I'm wearing black now as well, because I'm still in mourning for my youth. So I think that I should be in the Sad Girls Club because I think that loads of old, sad gays should be allowed.
We will take that sounds. What's that speech that's like? We will take your huddled masses. We will take your old gays.
Take us in.
I will take you.
I want somewhere to belong.
This is where you belong.
There we
right
go.
here.
I know.
Darren, do you have any socials that you would like our listeners and followers to follow?
Instagram at Darren Brownlie, TikTok
Not
at,
the Partick Thistle one.
not the Partick Thistle one. Yeah, follow me on Instagram and TikTok.
Your TikTok, you're doing quite well on the TikTok.
I pure started it going
You
with
love
that.
it.
I know it's like a good dopamine hit, mate.
I know that it's 100% just your like internal monologue.
Oh, God.
He's just turned on the camera and he's like, "Here I was on the Facebook
I know.
Marketplace."
Facebook is the I love it for entertainment. It's brilliant.
So if you wanna watch Darren's internal monologue, which is a hilarious thing,
Yeah.
Go on to
follow him on TikTok.
Yeah.
Have you got any shows to punt? Anything you're
Any
doing?
shows the Panto? No, actually, I don't. Because I'm
The
just
King's Panto?
The
King's
King's
Panto.
Panto. Come
Uh-huh.
see the King's Panto. We're opening a week early this year instead of we're opening now at the 23rd of November.
Is that so you finish early, or is it
No.
an extra week?
So the extra week is at the start and not at the end.
Ah, nice.
So, because that means, I mean, it does sometimes feel a bit strange. I remember when I did Edinburgh, and it was like the 19th of January, and you were still
My mum
going,
doesn't like
"Merry
a panto after
Christmas!"
Christmas.
Oh,
Very
the,
weird.
the pavilion goes to Valentine's Day
I
some
know,
years. You're
it's-
like,
Stop
yeah.
it.
like it's mental.
They put it on at the beginning now, so I'm doing that, and then do you know, watch Rivercity? It's our piece of drama.
Mm-hmm.
It's about Scotland, made in Scotland by Scottish people. Please support it and don't just say Rivercity shite.
Well, you
Yeah.
hear actual Scottish accents in it.
Yes.
You hear,
Yes.
I had like you hear accents that you don't hear anywhere
Yeah.
else. That's the way we properly speak. And
Yeah.
if you're embarrassed by it, that's because you don't hear it enough.
Exactly.
You hear your own
Exactly.
voice coming back at
Yeah.
you. So people hit the fucking cringe with it.
I
And you
know.
go, no, but that's what you
when
fucking
I
sound
hear
like.
Scottish accent, I just cringe, and it's like, well, listen to it more.
I know. Well, that's what you sound like.
I know.
Like,
So that's it. I think support that as well. I think it's really, really important that we do support it, because I'm not just because I'm in it. I've supported it anyway. It's just because it's ours.
It's
Like,
ours.
well, the Scots need to get rid of this thing of like being embarrassed to be Scottish.
and-
class.
and we've got-
Unless football's playing. Yeah.
We've got
Yeah.
one fucking
Stunning.
soap.
Yeah.
We've got one soap. We've got one, like, what, 1, 2, 3 comedy series that
Yeah.
you can series
Yeah.
that you can count on your hands.
See that?
I know.
Oh, that's me.
Darren.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
who's on the phone?
It's Johnny McKnight.
You can answer it now.
No, I can't. Hold on.
Get him on the podcast.
I'm just finishing doing this podcast thing.
Hi, Johnny.
Hi,
And
Johnny.
they're
Hi,
saying
Johnny
hello.
McKnight.
So, I'll phone you back in like 10 minutes. Right.
Me what he's told.
Right. Bye.
That is another Panto legend.
Yes.
Johnny
I actually think, did he write The Gorbos Vampire?
He did.
Well, the school that I work at on a Sunday, the Glasgow Acting Academy, are doing The Gorbos
Gorbos
Vampire.
Vampire. Oh, brilliant.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Well, Darren, it was lovely.
Lovely to have
on.
you.
Thank you very
are
much.
more
And
than
I'm
you-
glad we had a wee point.
I know.
That was stunning.
Musical.
Boom.
Get
He's
the
a
camera.
dancer.
You are officially in the Sad Girls Club.
Oh, yes.
I know, so you can come back anytime.
That, I will.
I know.
I know where you are.
I'll find you.
I know.
If you've got anything to punt, come back anytime.
I
we
will
want
do.
you on.
Thank you for having me and asking me as well. It's been
this
fun.
is lovely.
And follow us.
I know. Oh yeah, and I always forget to actually punt my own things. while
Yeah.
we're
That's
on
why I'm here, Dan. I'm just
yeah, just my PA.
PA.
So remember to follow the Sad Girls Club on Instagram at the Sad Girls Club Podcast.
It's not.
No,
It's
it's
not.
fuck. No, it's at the Sad Girls Club 2024.
I wasn't on. I was here
but-
last week. I wasn't here the week before.
It was a
and I was
shambles without
listening.
her.
Shambles without me. Also, when you're not in the episode, you have to concentrate harder because you've not lived it.
Aye.
So I'm listening, and you were like, "Follow us at the Sad Girls Podcast." And I literally shouted,
no.
I went, "No, it's not."
I panic. At the Sad
Sad
Girls Club 2024. We're on TikTok as well at the Sad Girls Club Pod. That's why I'm getting confused. And yeah, follow us, rate us 5 stars, tell all your pals,
Like and subscribe
like
to
and
our
subscribe.
YouTube.
I hate this fucking
Subscribe
bit.
to my channel.
I know. Subscribe. Hit that like button.
Hit that like button.
And okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.